Thank you for watching. Hi everyone. I just wanted to talk about some things that have been happening with me, and just in terms of um, telepathy and meaningful synchronicities, and how sometimes we can misinterpret them because that's happened in my case. Eve Lorgen talks a lot about the alien love bite, and I feel like that has applied to me, and it it is something that is just not only on a soul level but also happening on the physical level. So I've had a lot of meaningful synchronicities, and there were really very deep synchronicities that had happened to me, and a lot of things like animal and plant communications, um, and things like that that were occurring. And I felt like they were positive things. I still do feel like they were positive things. But having said that, the deep level of, I'm going to say, influence of the mind happens to interlink with these synchronicities or telepathy or telepathic communications that I've had. And it causes so much confusion, so much just, yeah, overall disdain, I guess, when it comes down to it, for actual telepathic communication, because you might feel like you're getting a genuine thing because it comes across as an external voice, it's not your own, and it can get misconstrued, misinterpreted. A lot of the time there is magic involved and other elements that obviously, Earth is a magical place but can get misinterpreted, and that's really happened in my experience. And I felt like this telepathic communication that I was having was genuine, especially because I had body sensations. I had so many things that had happened to me. A lot of emotional, intense feelings linked to these telepathic communications, which I had thought were coming from an external person, because of the synchronicities that would keep happening. And it wasn't the fact, because there was so much miscommunication on my end and so much misinterpretation that I realized that might have been coming from my own soul level, but it was not what I was interpreting as to be. So I don't want to get too specific, but basically it is to do with the telepathic nature of our consciousness, I guess, and just discernment, because a lot of the time when we have an emotional connection, it comes from our soul, and there is a lot of manipulation or a lot of influence, interference from other beings that we might not actually discern at the moment in time, but retrospectively, when you look at your behaviors and what you've done and how you've interpreted the situation, it can come obvious to yourself and others that isn't reality, and it is a bit of a delusion that's happening. But because of the synchronicities, and I'm talking about like with especially the animals and plant lives, because I have shamanistic traits where I do connect in with the earth. It does get really disheartening, and it does get really complex, because not understanding what the intention is, or not understanding why this telepathy is happening, it can really damage a soul. I've been through a lot of heartache with this because I just was very confused, and I feel like it is an overwhelmingly emotional experience. So that's why I wanted to come out and say these things, because unfortunately our emotions are really used against us. But having said that, it is an experience that I'm still going through, I'm still letting go. And there is a lot of other interference as well, such as tech. And, it's not about getting things right. Like, I do have the intention of creating a new earth and healing the planet and, helping humanity rise to their potential. And, all these psychic experiences, heightened awareness of the body, um, those are things that I felt that we were moving towards. Now, the level of discernment of their meaning, that's another layer. So that's a process. That's a longer process than actually experiencing these things, because it's on an emotional level. Yeah. So I even got into the stage of manifesting and you know not consciously, unconsciously manifesting things that were needed in my life, or that um, just happened to have some meaning to me. Um, and that was a positive thing. And I still feel like, being able to be close to animals and things like that is a positive thing. But just because of the human mind interface of interpreting things, I think that's where we and I got confused. So I'm trying to practice detachment, and I don't want to hurt anyone in the process of doing this, but I feel like I did, and that was not my intention, because I was so overwhelmed by this external telepathy thing, feeling like this was a reality for me, when in fact it was probably something that was interfering in my consciousness. And I'm not at the point where I can say that I've forgiven this, because I'm still confused as to what is happening, like where is this coming from, what is the intention. So I'm in the process of understanding why this is happening to me. But having said that, I want to move on from it, and I want to speak about this experience, because it's just moving on from this phenomena and understanding that we are multidimensional, but also understanding that there are different beings and levels to the multidimensional reality. And quite honestly, you can crack under the pressure and go literally crazy when these things happen to you. And it does come externally. It feels like there's something in your field that's coming through. So I just wanted to make people aware that, this was my experience, and these things do happen. But for solutions, I really feel like it's important to be open about these experiences, especially since there is so much confusion. And I am trying my best, but I just wanted to put it out there, because I really do value Eve's work on this, and I think she has a very deep understanding about psychology, and I think it's needed at this time, especially with all these transitions happening. We've got really heightened awareness at the moment, and I feel like there is a lot of miscommunication as it is in general, and just even on a normal level. I'm having a lot of experiences where people are just miscommunicating or shutting down or whatever it is. It's just really heightened awareness at the moment, and deep soul level integration that I feel is happening. This is on a planetary level and an individual level, and it is a dark and confronting process for a lot of people. But it does come back to your intention and navigating through that. as long as you can understand who you are, which I'm learning to find out who I am. And I want to be transparent about this because it's very intense going through it. Yeah, so it is like an alien love bite scenario that I'm talking about, because the telepathy was connected to someone else, and it just got out of control for me, and I didn't understand what was happening. So I just want other people to kind of, if they're going through this, really think about why is it happening, and maybe at least have someone to talk to about it, because it can get very overwhelming, and you can get stuck in your head with what's happening. And yeah, it really does get disheartening when it comes to the synchronicities, because you almost feel like, oh, I thought everything was happening because of the divine plan that is synchronizing these experiences. But you know, maybe there is a bigger divine plan of understanding that we are all just consciousness. And coming back to that, it's really important to support one another in these circumstances, because I feel like the more transparent with our thoughts we are, the more we can connect as a humanity. And we aren't perfect, and we have imperfect thoughts, and it's really not about disregarding them or getting rid of them, although ultimately we don't want them to interfere, but it's more about integrating them, welcoming what is happening, and understanding why these experiences do affect us so much. And I have come to the conclusion it is very much on an emotional and soul level that we're dealing with. So it could be something past life, it could be present life, it could be just some trauma that you have and attachment issues. But having said that, working through all these things within yourself, within your soul, with a support network, with people that are like-minded and that understand this phenomena, and understand, even just on a human level, what it's like to have emotional baggage, basically, because we all have it. It's really heartwarming. So there is positives to this experience, but it is very deep and very unconscious levels of understanding that I've been going through, that I feel like a lot of people have been going through in different ways. And, you know, my aim is just to heal enough so that I can help others, you know, and I believe in humanity, I really do. And just someone giving a genuine smile to you, you know, that can just change a world, and it does. And it really, you know, I mean, it does sound sappy, but I feel like just to be happy, you know, is just enough. And we really need to understand why are we suffering so much here, and how can we help one another just to come to the state where we're all helping, and we're coming from a place of non-judgment, because we all have our experiences, and we're not to judge other people in their circumstances, because we don't know what's going on, we don't know what they've been through, what their trauma is. And just having that place of support, you know, and I'm very thankful that I have a good support network, and I have been through a lot, and I continue to go through a lot. But just having people that have understood you on, I guess, a quantum level or the higher dimensions, it's really it's kind of, you know, it heals the soul, because these people are able to see through all the facade and see who you really are, and what you're about. So I think that's where I'm aiming at, for having a deeper emotional and spiritual connection with one another, but also helping one another on that level, because even though we might connect on that level, it doesn't mean that we have all the answers, and that's why we need support, because we're all going through this together, and it's important to acknowledge the positives and the negatives of our spheres, because we are in a duality system and we're moving into integration and unity. So yeah, that's all I have to say about that. And yeah, I'm just sorry if I hurt anyone in the process of this. That's not my intention. And thank you for watching. But yeah, we'll get there. And it's not about being right, like I said before. It's just about supporting one another in this process, because ultimately we want to be on the same page. You know, we want to heal the earth. We want the same things. And we need to combine our efforts in manifesting the highest timeline, in my opinion, for everyone, you know, so that we all can enjoy the earth as it should be. Because ultimately we need to be thinking about our future generations, and the way society is going, it doesn't look positive. But if we can put our differences aside, put our negativity and trauma on a hold, not saying that we can't go back to that, but that's a work in progress kind of thing, then we can ultimately get somewhere as a humanity, because this is a healing process. It's not something that we're just going to evaporate from. We're all learning here, and it is a struggle for a lot of people. And yeah, I'm happy to talk more about my experiences, and reach out to me if you want to talk to me about your experiences, because I'd love to learn more. I might have been a bit vague, but I'm just tying all this into basically consciousness. Where do our thoughts come from? And having that level of empathy to understand that we as a human race need each other. We do. And as much as it is an inner work, we need to be able to connect with one another, because ultimately we want to live in peace, and that means respect for one another. Okay, so thank you for watching, and have a good day.